Hey, Fred, how you doing? How's your week going? Right, I think we're ready. Yep. All right, here we go. So what is going on? How's everybody doing? 2021. Oh, what hopes we had for 2021. This, I don't know what to do about this. I mean, I can see what happened. I guess Bullet Bill had the straw harvest, one of the straw harvest buildings in here, and because these aren't part of it, he just, I don't know, placed them in the air so they were on the front of the building with the building gone. Oh, that's cool. It's got a little plywood texture on the back. Very nice. Ernie, what's happening? We don't come up here too often, but I think, oh, you know what I could do? I could go into, oh, no, I can't do that. I was thinking I could go into the editor and just take these out, but then my map would be different than the server map. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We don't come up here too often. Right. So what is going on? We need to finish up with the soybeans. So let's hop back in here. Get this fired up. Brake is off. We need a HUD. We need a HUD. We need a HUD. Where's our HUD? Is it... Oh, I can't even remember. Where's our HUD? Keypad 0. There it is. Beautiful. We're rolling. We are north central, sort of northwest. Okay, let's do this. We'll pull out of here. We'll head south, and then we'll take the first left and head across the top of the map, and then south. Yeah, there's no real quick or direct way to get there. Nice balance of driving on this map. It reminds me of, what was it, the West Coast? The West Coast, it felt like you couldn't get anywhere without a ton of driving. But the map is scenic enough. Doesn't bother me at all. I don't mind driving around this map. Speaking of, let's get a mini map open here. So, right, what is going on? I am, well, let's figure out the server first. Fried, have you been able to get onto the server? Have you been able to get things working? We want to turn here. Yeah, I think we do. And I think the only person that hasn't been on, other than Fried, is Fred. So once everybody gets into MP Manager and we get everybody set up, then I can sort of track a little bit. I do notice that I get... David, hey, how's it going? I saw your comment yesterday, brother. I appreciate it. And I took it to heart. I know y'all really do like the farm, so I try to mix it up, but I know the farm is a big favorite. Got no problem doing it. Oh, no worries, Fried. I was just curious. So we'll get Fried going, we'll get Fred going, and now when I tried the server, even in, I don't know, not SP mode, but you know what I mean? I was the only person on there, and I did notice I was getting a lot of stutter. So I recorded it. I didn't stream it, but I just recorded it to see what it looked like, and it was kind of stuttery. So I'll see if I can sort that out. And it could just be, I mean, my ping was like 50, which is not terrible. Oh, easy. You know, we're not playing competitive PUBG, so I think a 50 ping is tolerable. But it still seemed to spike up periodically and go into the red, and that's when it really got bad. And I also had a couple of freezes where the game's not crashed, it's just completely frozen, and then a minute later your tractor moves forward like 100 feet. So I guess it was synchronizing with itself. I don't know, because there was nobody else on. But we'll get that figured out. And I would like to, if we can find a way to coordinate, I would like to do a stream while there are other people in the server. I think that would be a lot of fun. So we'll get it all figured out. It's only been up for like, what, a week? And so we're coming to, let me see where I am here. Okay, so we're going to go past Blockwell. Yeah, this is Blockwell here. We'll go past Blockwell and then make the, looks like right, and then a left onto Hatton. Okay, just trying to remember where I am. It is a big map. It is a driving map, and the way the sight lines are set up, when you're on a hill, it's like you can see forever, but when you're not on a hill, the visibility is not limited, but I don't know. It works. There's a tremendous sense of scale when you're on a map like this. It's got a real feeling of distance. Even though I'm told it's only as big as a regular 1-up card, It's not a 4x or anything. It's just a regular size 1 card, but it feels a lot bigger than it is. Same as the West Coast. So, and what else is going on? We are going to fly tomorrow. And we're going to fly with VATSIM. I've tested that leg. The real sim pilots call it a leg. I've tested that leg over and over now, from Gatwick to Glasgow. And I think I'm ready to try it live with VATSIM. The thing that I do notice, though, is something happens whether I'm on VATSIM or not. And I haven't tried to do it on stream yet, but whether I'm on VATSIM or not, I notice something happens just about every flight. Not quite a problem, but something that needs to be addressed happens every single flight. So we'll see how that goes in live stream. And the other thing, I don't know how the streamers that stream X-Plane or Flight Sim with VATSIM, I don't know how they listen for ATC and talk at the same time. That's going to be really tricky for me. All right, so right through here. There we go, we're home. What else is going on? I saw that Wyoming went from TBA to coming soon, so I would guess then that means Iberia and Wyoming are going to drop at the same time for 1.40. I haven't heard a release date for 1.40, but safe bet. You know what? Instead of trying to turn and cut through the yard, let's just go in through this lower gate. Safe bet that when you get a release date for 1.40, that will be the sort of the de facto release date for Iberia and Wyoming. Really looking forward to both those. I think they're going to be fun. Wyoming is, in fairness, it looks a lot like Colorado. But it does have Yellowstone, which is next level. I don't know how much of the park they can depict in-game, but that's an amazing place, particularly in the winter. I mean, it's always beautiful, but in the winter, it's just like being on another planet. Right, let's get this up top. And I just saw we need to get fuel. I think we'll have enough fuel to complete the harvest, but we will need to get fuel at some point. All right, and we're on 16 grand. I want to see what happens at the top of the hour when we switch over to 3 p.m. local. I want to see what happens to our money. I'll try to track that. Have to download all the mods one by one? Oh, yeah. But, I mean, you can do that in the same session, right? You can just click download one after another and get them all into your download folder and then transport them all over to mods. Wow, that's really loud. Let me know how the volume is if I need to drop the game volume down. And the other thing, Fried, if you haven't done this already, if you don't know about this, you may want to create a second mods folder. And what I do is just swap the names back and forth. So the folder in My Docs, My Games, Farm Sim, whatever is mods. If you've got private mods or personal mods or things that you don't want to overwrite, then create another folder. And I just call it swap_mods. Put all your server mods in that. And then when you're getting ready to hop into an MP session, pull your mods folder out, right? Put it somewhere, just desktop or whatever, and put that swap mods folder in. Change it to mods, have your session, and then swap it back. So that way you're not overwriting. Like if you've got custom edits or if you've got a version of a map, like this map I was talking about, taking those signboards out from when we deleted the straw harvest building. If I did that, my map would no longer work on multiplayer. So just stuff like that. So that's if you've got private mods or if you've got mods you don't want overwritten. It's a tip. All right, I think we're ready. Here we go. Perfect. There you go. Keep it simple. And we're on 8 miles per hour. Let's slow this down a little bit. There we go. A nice stately speed for this old combine harvester. And what else is going on? Yeah, nothing. There was a big update for... No, I take that back. It wasn't a big update. There was a kind of a medium-sized update for F1 2020. And I haven't really been spending a lot of time in that. And I think it's because I got an F1 car for iRacing. and it's the like the 2014 or the 2015 Williams is the only F1 car they have. Is it? Yeah, I want to say it is. They just have the one, and they do have league racing, but if you're in a league race, everyone is in that car. They're all skinned differently, of course, but everybody's driving the same car. I guess that makes it simple for balance of power, balance of performance, because you've only got one car. And I feel like iRacing has definitely, you can feel the focus changing a little bit. I guess they used to have the Blancpain license, which is now, Blancpain is gone. It's now called the GTWC. Yeah, GT, Grand Touring, well, something, yeah. But I feel like iRacing has kind of gravitated more toward GTE, and they're sort of moving away from GT3. They're retiring the Z4. That's going to be gone. And then the my favorite car, the Ford, the GT2 and the GT3, I guess those are both going to be retired as well. All right, on Fried. No worries at all. No worries. iRacing, yeah. It's now when they retire a car, I guess you can still drive it in SP. You can still time trial it or do practice laps in it, but it's no longer available for multiplayer. And that way they don't have to continue trying to work on BOP. They can just, it's still there, but you can't really do anything with it. I know people get kind of hot about that because cars are like $15 a piece in iRacing. And what I've seen fairly consistently is people saying, hey man, if you're going to retire a car that I paid for, then give me a $15 credit. I see it both ways. I mean, I definitely understand where people are coming from. And for me, with the Ford being one of my favorite cars, I know at some point it's going to be retired. It's really not very well, I don't know. It was never really a GT3 car to begin with, so I don't feel like they put a ton of effort into it. Drop that. But it is a shame, because I like driving it. It's never competitive. I mean, it's difficult enough for me to be competitive, even in a low split, but you put me in the Ford, and you're just trying to hang on. Although I will say, in lower splits, there's a strategy, a strategery. Start from the pits, and in a 30-car field, you can start from the pits, never pass anybody, and finish like 12th. Because fools are just taking each other out left and right. Late race, you got to be careful, though, because there are a lot of people with really banged-up cars just kind of limping around the track. They really need to retire, but you're not forced to retire even when your car is significantly damaged. And you can pull in and get long repairs, like 5-minute repairs. So you're dead last. There's no way you're going to be competitive at all. But for some reason, people just, I don't know, they want the XP or the something. You don't really get XP. I don't know. So, yeah, watch out late race, because there's a lot of broken cars limping. And anything else on my list? I don't think so. I keep looking for new drops for Train Sim World. I thought once they went to Train Sim World 2 and really moved toward that Train Simulator model, there would be a lot more DLC. They would start dropping like 2 or 3 per month, but hasn't happened so far. Could be the time of year. But I would love to see some more content. I really want to see that Arosa line for Train Sim World. Arosa and Bernina, I think, is the other one. Those 2 Swiss lines up in the mountains. Satisfactory. I've heard that it is very addictive. I'm kind of steering clear of it for that reason. I'm addicted to enough games right now. I got problems with X-Plane. I got problems with Hunter Call of the Wild. I need to go to one of those clinics. I need to go to the ranch out in Arizona, get myself clean. Save game. And what was the other one? There was one like that. I think it's called Space Mechanic. Yeah, that sounds about right. That I wanted to try. And I'm also, I have no interest in doing it like for entertainment. I would never want to do it for fun. But when I hear the controllers in VATSIM, I do wonder, like, I'm kind of curious what they see like what they're looking at. I don't know if their software is just kind of a, you know, there's some UIs that are really kind of bone dry, you know, they just look like a DOS window, and there's just text, versus a really graphical based, you know, and it's designed to look like something. So if they're ATC, they're looking at a radar scope, right? And it's got the various tags on the various aircraft. So I don't know what their UI looks like, and I'm kind of curious what they do, but I'm worried that if I get too curious about it, then I'm going to want to do it, or I'm going to want to dip a toe in that just to see what they do, right? Like if it's only available to people that are in the program, and I'll just fall down another addictive rabbit hole of dopamine. So I got to be careful of that. And there was one other thing I was wondering about. Oh, I did see with VATSIM that the controllers have to go through like extensive training. I hadn't even thought about that. The only videos that I've seen are on the pilot side. But yeah, that's a very good point. There are probably videos to prep you to be a controller. I will take a look. I'll take a look. Oh yeah, you have to do all this training to be a controller, but you just have to pass like a very, very basic test to fly on the pilot side. And I heard somebody today, we were lining up to depart Gatwick. It was medium busy. They do midweek madness is every Wednesday. That's when it's really, really packed, like 40 planes waiting to depart. This was more like maybe 8 or 9, and you could tell it was a kid. And I do feel like even the a-hole controllers are a little bit more, you know, you got to be a real terrible person to be mean to a child. It's just, you know, you think something's not right in your head. Even people that are curmudgeonly, right? They know when to tone it down. You tone it down around kids. So it was a kid, and the controllers were being patient with him, but he really didn't have even, it seemed like a basic understanding of what he was doing. And you can do that on the pilot side. You can just pass that very basic test and then kind of hop in there. And the thing about the test is, I believe you can retake it as many times as you want. There's a cooldown, maybe there's like a 1 hour cooldown. But if it's 10 questions, multiple choice, you know, you could just guess and have some pretty good odds to pass that test. Whereas the controllers have to, they really have to pass a lot of tests. There's a lot of training. So I can recognize the frustration that the controllers must feel, that here they are trying to do this as well as they possibly can under a ton of supervision, right? And reviews and audits and all that sort of thing. And they're working with people that are on the pilot side who are not really subject to anything. You can be banned, you can be warned, but, you know, it's not quite the same. The thing that really trips me out is I'm getting more comfortable with it, and I think it's learning a new skill, sort of in public, because you are interacting with other people while you're still trying to fly the aircraft or prep the aircraft. And I mean, we say they're study grade. I don't know about that. I think they're close, but I don't know that they're 100% study grade. But there's a lot of complexity to the payware aircraft, a lot more than in base game. So you're trying to do all those things at once and communicate with ATC, not sound like a goofball. So it amazes me when I hear somebody who can't be more than like 12 or 13 years old, just, you know what I'm saying, with the big D energy and just absolutely a boss. What was I doing when I was 12? Not that. So I certainly didn't have it that together. I mean, I know it's just a video game. God, don't call it a video game. They get so upset. But I know it's just a video game, but it is nonetheless impressive for me to hear kids that are that together. And it definitely seems like, you know, in terms of something that's going to benefit you later in life, when I think about the organization and the, I don't know, just the sort of training that you're getting. There you go. It's exactly it. It is a form of training. I know people that are defenders of video games will say, oh, you know, you practice hand-eye coordination, and you know, learn to lose with dignity. And then, I don't know. I feel like that's a little, you're not convincing me. I'm not buying it. But there are some games where you really do, you learn stuff. You learn skills that could help you as an adult. So I think it's cool that there are kids that are into flight sim. All right. So we turn our beacons off. We can pipe out. There we go. Get this unloaded. And we may have, I would say, one more tank on the combine. And then, carefully, one more tank on the combine, and then probably another half a tank. So set the brake. And, whoa. What was that? Fat figure. Left alt end. That is over here. There we go. I have never played Minecraft. I've seen people play it. I don't know if I would like it or not. I mean, I like city builders. I really like city skylines. I like Planet Coaster a lot, but Planet Coaster is one of those games, like, I don't know. I feel like I need to be very, very careful with it. There's a lot more, well, no, that's not true, because I know you can get mod packs and asset kits for city skylines. I saw a guy build a junkyard, scrapped cars. He built it one car at a time. He was building the piles of cars, one car at a time. I don't know how much RAM you need to do that. Probably more than I have. So even in city skylines, you can build stuff manually, but I typically just kind of, I zone areas and I try to take care of my sims, but I don't take it to that level. In Planet Coaster, I'm really tempted to, because you can do, there are a lot more what I would describe as like micro asset kits. I've heard that, Fried. I've heard that Minecraft is more or less just wide open, and that's what scares me about it. So I do like City Skylines, and they made another one. It was called who's this studio? Paradox, I think. But they made another one called Cities in Motion, and it was essentially just the public transportation aspects of City Skylines sort of extracted out. You really didn't need to do any other city planning. All you needed to do was handle public transportation. So you needed to build all the lines, like build the routes. And in the case of subways, you needed to build the infrastructure underneath, elevated railways, that maglev, ferries, blimps, cable cars, all kinds of stuff. And you had to lay all that out. And if you did lay it out and do all the planning properly as far as the routes and making sure you had enough, there we go, making sure you had enough vehicles on those routes at peak times, and then, oh, hang on, let's lift that, do this properly. You had to have the right amount of vehicles at peak times, but you couldn't run that number at all times or you wouldn't be profitable. You'd essentially just be burning fuel or wasting payroll. So you really need to balance it. But if you do that properly, and if you have adequate services for the different parts of the city, then that city will grow. So it's City Skylines, but it's sort of zoning itself. All right, the zoning takes care of itself, and all you really need to do is make sure that your sims are happy and everything will be fine. So I did like that one, but it's probably 6 or 7 years old now, and I would say that it didn't age super well. It looks a little dated. I don't know that it got the most attention either. I feel like it's either Paragon or Paradox. Off the top of my head, I can't remember, but I feel like they were focusing most of their attention on City Skylines. And that seems like, I just saw an announcement for a potato harvesting DLC for FS17. So it seems that they are fully embracing that DLC model, as we sort of knew they would. Paradox? Yeah, I think so. That sounds about right. But FS19 is going to do the DLC model. And I look at companies like Paradox that have that model for City Skylines. And I think for some games, some titles, I think it works perfectly, and I almost prefer it. You know, don't make me pay $60 every 18 months for what is essentially the same game. I'd rather pay over that same amount of time. I'd rather pay 60 bucks for 5 DLC or whatever. Yep, it's a Grima Potato Harvest DLC. There's a link to it on the Discord in the Farm Sim channel. I disagree. I say sugarcane is the least harvested crop in the game. Wait a minute. Is sugarcane is in 19? Is it not, or did they take it out? I don't even know. Is it only in 17? I think it may only be in 17. Yeah, they swapped out sugarcane for cotton. Yeah, it's... I think Giants dropped the ball. I mean, I see where they were headed up with that, but it's not just warmth for sugarcane. You need a lot of moisture. So it's not just equatorial or Mediterranean. It is more... there's very specific biomes where you can grow sugarcane. But, I don't know, it seemed like a mistake on their part. You know what I think they could have done instead of sugarcane that would have been a lot more popular? Is grapes. I don't know why they didn't do grapes. The equipment for harvesting grapes, very, very sexy, right? And they grow them in Germany, where the game is popular. I don't know. I mean, UK, a little bit maybe. I think there's some grapes. England is not really known for its wine. But I know they grow grapes in Germany and in Italy, so you have that Mediterranean aspect. You like cotton? The problem that I have with cotton is because I typically play a British-style map, UK-style map, it just doesn't fit for me. But I kind of like it as well. I think the equipment is really, really different. And I think it's that you can harvest a massive cotton field. You essentially get just one giant cotton bale when you're done, and then you sell it for like 40,000. Yep. Orchards would be great, and that's sexy equipment as well. The tree shakers and sprayers and smudge pots and some of the other things. I think that would be interesting equipment to bring in. A lot of American maps, yeah. I mean, you know, we could do that. There's that Bullet Bill theme again. I'm telling you, the man has ruined me. Something happened on Saturday. I'm intrigued. Uh-oh. I don't know what Tang Hulu is. You burned yourself. All right. Badly? Oh, yeah, right? And you're going to have to tell me what Tang Hulu is. So we could play Lone Oak. Interesting. Hard sugar coating around fruit. Interesting. Yep, I agree 100%, Fried. I think they need to... I mean, if they're not going to make better base game maps, then they can at least bring in more fruit types and more equipment. All right, Enterprise. Thanks for stopping by. Bit of a drive-by. And like so. We get it, we got it. I think map makers and modders can make a lot of stuff, but I feel like a whole new piece of equipment, Giants needs to do that. And they do have the relationship with the companies, with Agco and New Holland, etc. Unknown, Ernie. I don't know. I just saw the notice for it today. I haven't had time to really unpack it. Giants, yeah. Giants has the relationship with those companies, so they would have access to grapes, right? If we wanted to have grapes in game. You know what? I think now we can go down this axis here. I feel like this is a little bit longer. Am I going that way? So if we wanted to have grapes, I think it would be an awfully big ask for a modder to get access to the equipment, do the scans, right? And then build something and in-game it versus Giants doing that. I think in lieu of better maps, I'd like to see more equipment. Now, I did like the equipment in the Alpine Farming Pack. The map really didn't do it for me. But I like the equipment. I would love to see the same thing for grapes with an Italian map. I don't know. I pay for that. And we can probably... it's a little tight over here. Let's just head up the other side. I've seen grapes for FS17, and there is a piece of New Holland kit. I mean, it looks good. It's a decent mod. I've never tried it. And again, I've never really had a map where I thought it would fit. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, Ernie, when I saw the notice come in, I want to say that there is a note in there that it's being made by a third party. It's not Aerosoft, but it is being made by a third party and sold through Giants, which is also kind of the dovetail model. I know Rivet makes a lot of stuff for them, and Aerosoft made the Straw Harvest pack, so I'm curious to see how it plays out. I have to say, I did enjoy getting back into 19, and I will admit, as much as I love 17, I will admit that 19 it's a pretty good looking game. 17 can be made to look very, very good. I think 19 can look very good almost with less effort. So I was very impressed. I only reinstalled it for the Precision Farming DLC, and at the moment it's uninstalled, but I need to reinstall it and continue. So we can mix it up that way too. Rather than getting on Lone Oak, we could do Shellington. Yeah, that could work. That could definitely work, because I like that map. Ah, okay. Maybe we'll start mixing that in. Beginning maybe next week. Yeah, let's try that. And I think, I mean, do we want to play without seasons? I don't know. Because where we are right now, like in this save game that we're in right now, I feel like there's not enough. There's never enough to do in an episode, right? It's why I haven't streamed for a couple days. Streamed Farm Sim for a couple days. I tried to get Kerbal going yesterday. You saw how that went. And we're going to do X-Blade tomorrow, but rather than doing Farm Sim every other day, I've been taking like 2 and 3 day breaks. Because very often there's nothing to do but what we were doing last episode. Shellington on 19, Western Shore on 17. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. With seasons, yeah, I totally get why streamers and YouTubers don't use seasons, or some of them don't use seasons, because it really does slow it down. And this is difficult for me to process. I'm a very shy person. You know that. I'm very shy. And so when I watch a streamer, I watch a guy named Flinter. He's a perfect example. I watch a guy named Flinter. He plays Hunter the Call of the Wild. Any of his videos, any of his streams, he's just walking around shooting animals. It is literally the same thing every single time. And I'm totally into it. And so I forget that when people want to watch a stream, or when people want to watch your channel, they don't necessarily want something new every time. Sometimes they want what they're used to seeing. They just want more of the same. It's not a bad thing. They just want more of the same. They want what they're used to getting every time they go there. So for me, I think, oh man, I don't want to just stream Farm Sim again. We're just harvesting this field. And then like I got that comment from David, and it sort of clicks for me, like, maybe people do want to see you harvest that field. So trying to find a balance, but maybe we'll do one with seasons and one without. That could work. The other thing we could do is just cheat in a bunch of money and buy a bunch of fields and a bunch of equipment, so we're not doing this very slow, very grindy start. Yep, I was about to ask you that same thing, Fried. And I would say we're just about full here. So let's go empty one more time. Yeah, that was sort of what I was thinking. We'd get about 2.5 tanks from what was left in the field. We got a little bit less than that. So turn that off. Beacons off. Pipe out. Here we go. And we are going to need to teleport one time because we're going to go return this. And then we'll teleport back to... right in there. We'll teleport back to the 5600. Right. Set the brake. I'm going to have some water. And I'm going to mute to do that. Be right back. Yeah, I hear you, Fried. I hear you. And I think for me, the biggest advantage is if you don't want it, you don't have to buy it. But I'm on the season pass, so I sort of already bought it. And that does make me feel not quite obligated to... Grey Wolf, what's happening? I wouldn't say it makes me obligated to use a DLC that drops. So, potatoes. I'm not into potatoes, never been into potatoes. I'll probably check it out and do some for a session, right? Just to see how that equipment feels. And I have to say, I'm really impressed with the equipment they've been dropping for 19. It seems really well done. I like that dynamic hose has spread across the entire game now. Stuck with the game forever. Yeah, I see where you're at. Factory Farm. I'm not familiar with Factory Farm. I need to look that up. I do think, Fried, I think the Giants is way too dependent on the mod community to keep the game interesting. That seems really risky to me. I get that it is, it's democratized because the mod community, you could say those are like the most serious or most hardcore gamers when it comes to farm sims, so they would know what people are into the best, right? And that therefore the mods that they make would represent what the community wants the most. In theory. Sounds good on paper. I don't know that it always plays out that way, but it is democratizing in a way because modders tend to make things that people like. So there's that benefit, but it does seem awfully risky when a company turns their R&D, turns their content development over to unpaid, unmonitored, outsourced independent contractors. That seems risky to me. Interesting. Is it German by any chance? That sounds like a very scripty, very German map. Turn around right here. And I think, yeah, that's us just about done. I forgot to lift my header again. There we go. All in English? Right on. Yeah, I mean, you're taking a big chance. You're saving money, no doubt. And you are sort of trusting it to people in the community that you would hope are interested enough in your game to make a positive contribution. But it is out of your hands. I mean, you can set up a portal so that nothing makes it in as a mod unless you approve it. That sort of works. Not always 100%, but you can try to vet them and make sure that the mods are quality. I mean, one way to do that is to do it the way Dovetail does, where mod content is essentially part of the Unreal package. As I understand it, that's how that works. So you can't have a cracked mod for Train Sim World. It has to be part of the game. But that's when we get those 10 meg updates for Train Sim World to take an hour and a half to install because of the way Unreal has to be completely unpacked to add like a 1 meg file. Yeah, Ernie, I agree with that 100%. And I think the farm sim community, I don't know, man. It's not NBA 2K. I don't think they're going to, after 19, I don't think they're going to tolerate a farm sim franchise title that drops that is not amazing. Yep, Fried, I agree with that. I think modders are already getting tired. And I think Giants knows what their console crowd wants. But that's the, how do I want to say this? It seems like the biggest part of their audience and the people that they make the most money from also represent the most casual component of the audience. And it's the hardcore, realistic PC gamers. They may not make as much money from them, but they're much more into the game. So it's like you've got two audiences, and what makes one happy pisses off the other and vice versa. So Giants is in kind of an impossible position in that way. Oxygen David quit. You know, I hate to gossip. I hate to talk smack on people, but I will say, if I had a nickel for every modder that said they were quitting, who then actually did quit, I would have probably 30 cents. It seems like modders are always say they're going to quit. I can't take it. I can't take it no more. We want to fold the harvester. Hop in here first person. Let's head back. Yeah, I'm going to try to make it a habit of not threatening to quit. Not threatening to quit YouTube or Twitch or anything else. If I ever decide to quit doing this, I'm just going to disappear. How come I'm on 17 and not 19? I prefer 17 to 19. I think the mods are better. I think this map is probably one of the best that's ever been made, if not the best ever made. It's only available on 17. So at the moment, I prefer 17 to 19. Although I am coming around a little bit. I'm beginning to come around. I was not a fan of 19 for a long time. Oh, hang on. Long chat. Let me read this. License for console, yeah. Yeah, and that, again, that's part of the conflict, is we have access to so many more scripts on the PC side than consoles do. And now as we're transitioning to, what is it, 8th gen consoles, as we're making that transition and as we're getting into new API and new SDK and new this and new that, I feel like devs are, let's see if we can make it around the bins this time. I feel like devs are really struggling. And then you add in the complexity of integrating mods in from independent third parties, and it is a handful. It's one of those gens. You're right. PC can't handle 19. Man, I remember release day for 19. My PC felt like a toaster. There are very few games that I have played that made my both my CPU and my graphics card run as hot as 19 did on day one. I feel like it was not optimized, not even close. Yep, that is one of my favorite scripts. It is in, first time I saw it was on Hofbergman. Hofbergman has, you have to pick up the trash and you have to empty the septic tanks of the houses in town. Take it down to the water treatment plant. Taro, what's happened? How you doing? I hear you, Grey Wolf. I hear you. It's never enough. I just bumped up to 32 gig of 3200. I was on 16 gig for a long time. MSI Afterburner said I was never maxed out on 16 gig, but I have a feeling that is how your RAM sort of routes load, right? That if you only have 16 gig, your RAM is not going to, well, obviously it can't go to 17, but it's not even going to max out 16 because you need a little room in there for various things. But now with 32, I'm still only at 14 and 15 max usage at any given moment. So I feel like I'm sort of future-proofed in that way. Potato DLC might be the worst one yet. I'm tied with cotton. That cotton DLC, I could have taken $5 and just burned it, and I would have been more entertained. Taro, I am fantastic. I'm having a wonderful... What day is today? Whatever day it is, it's wonderful. Yeah. It's... Oh, you like the cotton DLC. Okay, so here's me. I keep smack talking it, and you like it. I wouldn't say that I don't like it. I just... It just did do it for me. I only used it a couple of times. Oh, the great big John Deere that comes with cotton harvest. I've got my next system laid out. I'm going to stick with Omen. I know I'm probably not getting the best value, that for exactly the same amount of money, I could probably get a slightly upgraded system via Parts Picker or something. But I like the warranty, and I feel like they've always treated me well. HP has always treated me well. I know, it's a big, faceless mega corporation. They don't even know me. They're not treating me well. I just got lucky. I know, but it seems like they've treated me well. So I do want to, I'm sentimental like that. I like to reward quality with loyalty. So I think I'm going to go with another Omen Tower, and got to bump up to a 2080 or a 2080 Super. I feel like the prices are going to come down as the 3000 series gets more widespread. I don't need a 3000 series. I mean, every game that I play, just about every game that I play, I can play on ultra settings on my 1660 Ti at 60 FPS. And that's one of the benefits of sim gaming. As long as you stay away from like Deus Ex or Crysis, right, The Witcher, you can see some really good frame rates on sim games with an economy card. And it's not really possible to do that with super high-end AAA titles. Yep, you're right, Ernie. All right, so we're going to drop this here. I've learned my lesson. Always drop the header first. So we're going to drop that because occasionally the trigger will only see the vehicle. Leave this right here in the middle of the street. They know me in this town. Occasionally, I've made the mistake of accidentally returning the vehicle, and there's no way to pick up the header to get it back into the trigger. Yeah, Taro, it's... I mean, the thing with Dovetail right now with Train Sim World is they've straight up said, hey, we're learning to code in Unreal. And it's like, are you now? Enjoy my $600. I probably would have bought most of that content, even if I had known that. But that does sting a little bit. And when you see a game that's really poorly optimized... There we go. When you see a game that's really poorly optimized, it makes games like Spin Tires or Mud Runner that much more impressive. I mean, that game comes in at like 1 gig. It runs 60 FPS, ultra settings, looks fantastic, beautiful lighting, fog, everything. It's amazing. Let's hop back in the 5600. And it's 1 gig, right? And it's, I don't know, efficient code, super well optimized, no fat, all lean. So it can be done. It definitely can be done. Or when you stand on one side of the SnowRunner map and you can see your vehicles in detail all the way across on the other side of the map. It's amazing. Same with Hunter Call of the Wild, which is also running on Havoc. So apparently that engine is good for that. But, should they run Farm Sim on Unreal or Havoc? Yeah, something else. I'm told this is their proprietary engine, and it is 10 years old. Sort of the same problem that SCS has with Prism 3D is now officially 20 years old. We play Farm Sim Farm Sim. It's the other one. Truck Sim. We play Truck Sim on a 20-year-old game engine. And they're absolutely doing their best to keep it running until the sequel drops. But it is long in the tooth. Hey God, really great map. What's a really great map? Factory Farm 3.9. Yeah, I mean, I need to be careful with scripts. I find my interest in farm activities is really sort of a bell curve with farming proper. What we're doing right now, that's sort of right in the middle. And then everything else, as far as logging and management, business, economy, all that stuff, less so. Picking up trash. Now, I did like Hofbergman quite a bit, but for me, once the novelty wore off, it's still a good map. We did a live stream on it a week or so ago, 2 weeks. So it is a good map, and it's different. It's very unique, and it's fun. But I find in Farm Sim my primary activity, the thing I enjoy the most, is just the straight farming. Let's get some lights on here. There we go. Yeah, exactly. It can be done, Taro. It can be done. It just takes, you got to have a good team that knows what they're doing. And I'm trying to do this without the mini map. I suppose there's no reason why I would try to do it without the mini map. There we go. So we'll make the left here. Can't figure out courseplay? Yeah, courseplay is my most loved and most hated mod at the same time. It depends on the day. I've seen people do amazing things with it. I've seen people do things with courseplay that it makes me angry. I get physically angry when I see the things that they're doing, and somehow it's working, right? So you bring the video up on your phone, and it's like, okay, you do this, this, and this. You pause the video, and then you go in your game, you do this, this, and this, and you start the video again. Then do this and this. Okay, pause the video, go back, you do this and this. And then in the video, something starts happening. And on your sim, you press start in courseplay, and nothing happens, or it goes horribly wrong. God damn it, I did exactly what you did. Yeah, I think for a lot of people, it's kryptonite. Westerrod with seasons. All right, I'll check it out. We need to find, we need to pick a 19 map. Yeah, that Grey Wolf, I'm telling you, man. When you get courseplay running and you watch it cycle like twice, okay, we cool? Are we cool? We're cool. All right, everybody just be cool. And you turn around to do something else, and like 10 minutes later, you look at the mini map and your courseplay tractor is on the other side of the map. Well, stand by. What's going on here? And you go find it, and it's like carved a furrow halfway across your map, destroyed a bunch of crops. Damn it, game. Yeah, that I feel you. It's now, in fairness, it is, I think, what we're asking for. And I say the same thing about AI in Truck Sim, AI in cattle and crops. I feel like some of the things that we say, like, why can't this just work? Why won't you work? Right? We've been wanting these things to work for years. Hang on, I got a bunch of chat. I got to read this. We've been wanting this stuff to work for years, and the developers, I know, they want it to work too. They can't figure it out. So, as far as the modders figuring it out, Marksville, right on. Yeah, it is. It is a little bit Stockholm Syndrome. I only hurt you because I love you. Ernie, I have good days and bad days. I have done I've done amazing things with courseplay, but I can't do it consistently. And I don't know where the break in the chain is. I don't know why from one session to the next, it seems like, for me anyway, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But now if I'm wrong about this, I apologize, but I believe one of the modders who built courseplay, designed courseplay, is also one of the modders on the crew at Master Brain Bytes doing cattle and crops. And it's like that's their white whale. That's their mission in life, is to make meaningful automation and AI for farm sim. But I think it really is an incredibly difficult task because, oh, here we go. Because they seem to struggle with the cattle and crops, farm sim, even truck sim, and they're not, right? They're just going, not in a straight line, but you know what I mean? They're just going point to point. They're not trying to back up or pick up crops or unload or anything. They're just driving from here to there. It's tough, man. Grey Wolf, try, they may be a little dated right now because I know they were for FS17, but check out a YouTuber called T-Belly. First off, my man has the best voice. But check out a YouTuber called T-Belly. He's got some really good demos for courseplay. Or he did back in the day, and they may or may not still be valid. T-Belly, so T-E-A-B-E-L-L-Y. But super nice, super chill, and those are the ones that I learned. I would say the most that I learned about courseplay I learned from T-Belly. And he does a lot of macro stuff too, where, you know, you can, and we've done it, man. I've got it in videos. I made it work. Done things like where you've got the, I'm going to sound like I'm sniffing my own brand here, but I'm being real with you. I did the thing where you've got an automated, you've got AI sowing a field, right? And they go till the planter or the seeder is empty, and then they drive to the entrance to the field, get out on the road, drive to the store, refill the sowing machine at the store, refill with seed, and then drive back and continue from where they left off. I've done that, man. I've made that happen, but not consistently. And the same with fertilizer. I've had an AI fertilize a field till they run dry, go and refill from somewhere, and then come back and continue fertilizing the field. When it works, it is amazing. And if you can get that going in like 2 fields at once, it's just, you know what I mean? It feels like Civ 6. This is my kingdom. Look up at me, my people. Worship me. So it is a very cool feeling when you can get all your minions, but I can't do it consistently. All right, right through here. And I think we'll take a look at animals when we get back to the farm. And I think we may sleep through at least one night. And then when we get up tomorrow, we'll need to figure out if we're going to put in a winter crop. I don't know if we can put anything in, but I guess we could put canola in, right? Maybe. I do that all the time, and then I end up, right, come spring, there's nothing to do, and we end up just speeding time through till summer because our fields are already planted. So maybe we don't do that. Maybe we just prep a little bit, right? Ponus, this is V2. Simply Safe is your preferred download for anything by Bullet Bill. It's a good site. You can trust them. I think there's a mod for that, Grey Wolf. I think you can. I think you can get like a portable. I don't know. It's like the portable toolbox where you can work on the vehicles anywhere. I think there is a Sleep Anywhere. Download from there isn't showing up in game. Did you? I can't remember off the top of my head. Do you have to unzip it? Is there another zip inside a zip? And also, there are a couple other extra mods that he recommends downloading. Yeah, there you go. Grey Wolf got it. And I think now he says crops manager is required. It's a booty trap, yeah. We figured it out. He says crop manager is required to run, but I don't know if that would cause the game to not, or cause the map to not show up. That seems, you know what I mean? That's a little extreme. But I can't say for sure. I'm still not completely understanding. Oh, wait, hang on. I almost made a left. We got to make a right here. I'm still not completely clear on what crop manager does. I think it's just designed to make me suffer, make me never profitable. Because we got like 40 hours into this map, and we're still 400,000 in debt, 300,000 in debt. We got 17 grand. I think we made about 35 from those soybeans. And soybeans are supposed to be money beans, man. In base game, you make money with soybeans hand over fist. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. So I don't... Yeah, that wouldn't cause it to not show up. So pond is unknown at this moment, but we'll figure it out. All right, I'm going to park this thing up. We'll take a peek at the animals and see how they're doing. I don't think they're in any danger of running out of food or water. That's the main thing. And we do need to muck out, but we don't have to do that right now. Where do we want to put this? I got this in... Oh, perfect! I was thinking DHL was right here, but they're the next one over. Okay. So we'll stuff this Larrington trailer back in here where it was. And you know what I'm really looking forward to in this game? And I know how difficult it is to do, but I'm really looking forward to objects in game that are solid to light. Because right now light goes through a lot of objects. You see the light on it, but you also see the light on the object behind it. Really looking forward to when objects no longer do that. But that's going to be, you know what I'm saying? That's going to beat a system up pretty good. And I also, where'd we leave our weight? Let me do this while I'm thinking about it. Where'd we leave our weight? It says it is over by the silage pit. Okay. So that's that. Lights off. Engine off. Set the brake. Let's hop out. All right. Animals. They do need wheat. And they do need grass. They're not going to starve, though. Oh, my God. 6,000 liters of manure in the shed. What do we got over here? Take a look. Is this... So we do have sugar beets. And we've got sugar beets. And we've got wheat. Okay. I mean, let's be good, responsible farmers. Do we have lights in here? Oh, yeah, we do. Yes. Beautiful. Oh, look at us go. How about it, right? So let's hop in here, and we'll grab the front loader. Let's get some work lights on here. We'll grab the front loader, and let's go get the animals fed. We'll get some sugar beets in there. We'll get some wheat in there. Get those out of the red. Here we go. How fast is your internet, Pontus? Is it worth it to just delete that one and download another? Maybe it came in corrupted or something? And this is... I'm not being an ass when I say this serious question, but you're confident you're putting it in the right folder? You've installed mods before? So we'll get this picked up. There we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll take it over there with me, but I need to remember to drop it before I hook up to the trailer. Frame rate is dropping off a little bit with, oh god, with all the light. Oh god. As I say that, we went slideshow there for a minute. Frame rate's holding up pretty good for all the lights being on. I know at Bramble Lane, when we had a ton of equipment on the farm with lights on, we definitely struggled. But I think that's, you know, when you're designing a map, I think you need to make compromises here and there, and one of those compromises is the game may not play as well. The map may not play as fast at night with all the lights on. Unfortunately, we don't typically spend a lot of time in that circumstance, so it's not that big a deal. All right. Oh, you don't have V1? Okay. Yeah. You know what, man? I got back into gaming, I've been saying 3 years ago, and it was for the longest time, but it's 4 years now. I got back into gaming 4 years ago, and when I first got back into it, I was gaming on a HP Pavilion laptop, not a gaming laptop, built-in Radeon graphics card, and I swear, man, every time I upgraded my system, I've upgraded 3 times in 4 years, and every time I upgrade, it just feels like taking off a wetsuit. It feels so good. Everything looks so much cleaner and crisper, and everything runs faster. Where am I going? Why did I just come over here? What did I want to do? Can't remember. So yeah, I can relate to low FPS. And I do feel really lucky that the types of sims that I'm into allow me to sort of have a more sane budget than people that need to play AAA titles. Six FPS. Yeah, I think the cutoff for me, particularly where anything is moving, the cutoff is about 30. I think below that, for me, just for me personally, it does get kind of difficult to drive and control the vehicles. Yeah, there you go. I mean, I know that's the best way to go, but like I said, I do want to stick with Omen. I had an incident earlier this year, or late last year, I guess it's 2021 now. I had an incident. My power source cooked off, and when it cooked off, it took the motherboard with it. And I contacted HP, told them what was up. They sent me an RA in a box, put the PC in it, and I got it back like 2 days later. No problem. I thought it was going to be a week, 10 days. I thought it was going to be a nightmare, and they absolutely hooked me up. So, like I said, I try to reward that kind of service with loyalty. Brake off, brake is on. Yeah, exactly. That was my HP Pavilion. Not made for gaming at all. And really all I could play on it was Truck Sim and Farm Sim on low settings. Yeah, not a ton of spread on the lights. That may be deliberate. I tend to think of most things that Bullet Bill does as being intentional. He seems like a person who puts a lot of thought into his maps. So it could be that maybe some of the lighting is dialed back a little bit to save on FPS. All right, right up in here. There we go. There goes the wheat. There we go. Took the whole pallet. Yeah, I sort of feel the same. Grey Wolf, as long as you can play, as long as you're having fun. I mean, I know people that say if it's not 120 FPS 4K, they're not even getting out of bed. Not worth it. Forget it. I'd rather watch Netflix. Some of that is elitism. Some of that is professional PUBG players that actually do need that. You know, they need single pixel resolution. They do need like millisecond response time on their mouse. I get that. Some of it is elitism. Some of it is for real. Some of it is just personal preference. But for me, the cutoff is somewhere between 30 and 60 FPS. And depending on the game, I would generally prefer, of course, to be on ultra settings. Sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes it's not. Yeah, it's hard to say sometimes. Although I do think if you were a professional, I say PUBG, but there's a lot of pros now. There's pro CSGO, there's pro, I guess there's pro Escape from Tarkov. Pastili is making, I think, millions now. I saw the other day he had 200,000 people in his stream. Our babies all grows up. So if you're doing it for a living and you're a kid, I don't know how you explain that to your parents. Like, Mom, Dad, you know how you think I'm like in my room all day playing video games? Well, I am, but I'm actually making money at it, and I'm going to need a 4K monitor, and this is why. And it's like telling your parents you need a new clarinet to take to band camp, right? If we're serious about me being in the band, this is the equipment that I need. So it's crazy to think that that extends out to, come on, palette physics. Come on. Slide off there. Game. Come on now. Just that easy. There you go. I mean, you got to have, right? You need those good skates for hockey. I'll leave that gate open. Let's get one scoop of manure out of there before we sleep through the night. There's 6,000 liters. That's a lot of poop. Let's get at least one of those out, just so we have that much less to deal with tomorrow. Water is good. We'll take another look at food before we skip through the night. There's that. Like so. I'm going to put this back in gear, set the brake, and very quickly put a strap on that. Yeah, you know what's funny is you don't know this until, I don't have kids, but I have friends that have kids. You don't know this till one of your friends tells you that their kid needs a flute and it's $1,800. $1,800 for a flute. What? But if, you know, kids got to do something, man. You got to have it's not just a hobby. That's them sort of, I don't know, growing up, figuring things out. So if they need that flute, you got to get them that flute, man. You can't just say no. But between that and what's the other one? Braces. Oh, God. I don't know if I'm ever going to have kids, but I'm dreading the day I find out my kid needs braces. If they need braces and a flute on the same day, I don't know. I'll probably just buy a new hat and leave town. Pretend to be somebody else. Yeah. And the other one that I'm told is terrible is if your kid decides they want to play the drums. I know they're electronic drums. They're super expensive, and even the good ones are still, I don't know, kind of hokey. If your kid wants to play the drums, there's just no way to turn that down. All right, I'm going to leave this right here. 7 months. Yeah, you're going to have a little warning. You know what you could do? You could do between now and then is just try to talk them out of it. Subliminal advertising. Just as you're reading to them every night, as they're falling asleep, just tell them all the things they're never going to want when they're 8 years old. All right, I think we're ready. Take another look at the animals. Yeah. Power food. God, we need to rent the food mixer again tomorrow. All right. Here we go. Sleep through the night. Yeah, they're a lot better now, Fred. No doubt. And I think, I mean, depending on what you're into, a good friend of mine, guy that I've known for years, good friend of mine is a drummer, serious drummer, session drummer, and an actual like musician who makes money from it. But his drum kit is, it's evolved over the years, and it is, I wouldn't say that it's like priceless, but if he had to replace it all at once, it would be very expensive, and there would be some parts that it would take him a minute to find everything at once, because the previous stuff, he found it as it became available over the years. If he had to find everything at once, or if it was, you know, knock wood, lost in a fire or something. Comfortable night at the manure pit. Yeah, you know, you catch your little nap where you can. All right, so they got water, they got power food. Let's, I think they're going to be okay for a minute. I don't think we need to worry about it. And the milk tank's not full. So why don't we drop the front loader and the weight? Or we'll swap the weight around to the front. There was a lot of curves in there. Swap the weight around to the front. You have no idea how many ways I damn near mispronounced that. A lot of curves. But we're going to drop the weight. We're going to drop the front loader. And we're going to go get... We'll speed up time till the store's open. And we'll go get... Let's go get... a little cultivator. And I don't think, if we take a look at seasons, we could put canola in now, but I don't want to. I feel like we do that too often. Yeah, that's another thing that I dread about having kids is I really want to make an effort to, I mean, of course you got to like raise them and try to pass on values and, you know, morals and work ethic and that stuff. But you need to be careful that you don't like step over the line and begin extending your personality out to them and expecting them to like the same things that you like. You know, if my kid, if I ever have kids, if my kid is like not into gaming, I need to be totally cool with that, because you can really do a number on a kid, you know, as far as making them feel inadequate or pushing them into liking something that you like. So you got to be careful with that. You got to be supportive of their goals and interests and dreams. So if I have a kid that's like, video games are dumb, why would anybody do that? I want to play the flute. All right, guess we'll go get you a flute. Yeah, no doubt, Grey Wolf. Great skills to have when the power goes out, too. And it will. It's going to. All right, so we'll drop this. Move this. Other way. Move this weight around. The new seeders and plows. Yeah, now is there a cultivator pack in there? I know there are traditional plows. Is there a cultivator pack? If there is, I would prefer to use some of the bullet bill stuff. I mean, it's why we got rid of more realistic. Well, we didn't get rid of it. We just have it turned off at the moment. But I specifically did that so we could use the bullet bill stuff. So if they do have one in that pack, let's go with that. And we need to get fuel. So we'll stop at the fuel station on the way down there. I think that may take us down. Whoa. I think that may take us down time-wise to where the store is open, because we're on 5X. Hang on. Well, chat is bumping today. I don't know if you guys know this, but it's so much easier to make these streams happen when there's a lot of people in the chat and you all are talking. It's the best, because there's something to talk about. right? If it's just me talking to myself, I don't know. I mean, I could generally come up with something, but it's going to be ridiculous. So I need y'all to talk. I love it when you do. Thank you for that. All right. Yeah, that's my dad taught me the same stuff. He was a very outdoorsy guy. He taught me how to run trap lines when I was a kid and how to skin a squirrel. And you know, it's not something you would ever necessarily need to know, but I don't think there's anything wrong with knowing it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that moment when you sort of get through it, you know, because it is weird the first time. But knowing stuff like that, I think it does have value. Let's get some lights on here. It's pretty dark. There are cultivators. Super. And we're on 16 grand. And we paid down our loan a little bit, did we not? Oh, God, we did. We didn't. We had to borrow money again. So we're back to, no, man, don't borrow more. Repay. There we go. So we're at 275 with 11 grand. We may make it through the winter. Yep, it is. There's there's a meme photo of, it's like a, I don't know, 17, 18-year-old girl changing a tire on a Camry or something. And there's a guy 17 or 18 years old leaning on the back of the car texting. And, you know, I'm not super into gender roles, right? I think anybody can do whatever they want. Boys, girls, whatever. If you want to change your own tire, change your own tire. But the fact that they weren't doing it together, I mean, that's something that I would do for any of you. And I know there's several like heavy wheel mechanics in the group. I'm not going to lean on a car and text while you're changing a tire. So I do think there are a lot of sort of dirty fingernail skill sets that have really fallen away in this era. And I'm fortunate that my dad did teach me that stuff. Taught me how to shoot a gun, taught me how to fix things, taught me how to change a fuse, you know, a big fuse, proper fuse. And that, oh, you know what? Forgot to go to the fuel stop. And that is, I'm really grateful for that. Let's get back around here. And we're trying to kill a little bit of time. We got 7 minutes to go and we're on 15x time. So the store will be open momentarily. So right in here. This is nice too. I don't know if you caught that when we came in, but there's like a little rainbow oil stain around the pump island. Beautiful detail. All right, stop that right about there. Engine off, lights off, set the brake. It's like I'm in truck sim here. And we refueling? There we go. Now we're refueling. Yeah, I mean, I'm not pretending I'm going to live forever. I'm very much in touch with my own mortality. Kind of sucks, but, you know, it's spread evenly. It happens to everybody. But if everything just ever came apart, if the power went off, I wouldn't want to go on the first day. I would like to at least make it through the first day. Hell yeah, man. All right. Yeah, any type of big equipment repair is as amazing to me as the equipment itself is. Because that's the thing that, right? It's like when you see a big, scary person with scars on their face. It's like, oh, God. Whoever did that to him, what do they look like? Because that cat's scary as hell. So when you see a gigantic piece of equipment, that's impressive enough, and then you're like, oh, wait, there needs to be something to tow that if it breaks? How big is that thing? I love heavy equipment. All right, so right through there. We may, if we get down there, does it open at 8 or 9? Now I'm thinking it's 9. We may need to speed time up a little bit, but I think we'll be okay. Yeah. Yep. I get that. I spend a lot of time in the mountains, and it's always, I wouldn't say everybody's wilderness first responder or backcountry EMT certified, but there are so many people. It doesn't matter what you're doing, whether it's mountain bike trip, ski trip, mountaineering. You know, one or two people in your group. That's not why they're there. You're just all pals going on a trip. But it's nice to know that there are waffers in your group or backcountry EMT certified. Very reassuring. Can I lean sideways? I can. We got 6-axis, so we can do this, and we can. At the moment, I can't lean. I thought that I could. And I don't know if that's something that I have turned off, or if it's if there's not 6-axis in game. Yeah, there's a couple like that. There's another one fried in it's a company that services a mountain pass in Canada, and it's amazing what they do and the conditions they do it in. Right. Let's we did plow those fields, did we not? I'm losing the narrative here. Oh, it's only field 100. It does need plowing. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I know it is 6-axis in track IR itself, but I think it translates differently to different games. And then you also have different profiles that you can build, so different games do different things. Now, do we want to do this? See, we'd have to do this field twice. You know what? Let's do it twice. Because if we do it with this plow, we only get the plow bonus. We still need to cultivate. If we do it with this thing, if we do it with this thing right here, we get the plow bonus as we cultivate. But I don't want to do that. I want to use one of the bullet bill plows. And I think we're just going to get this started. How long have we been going? 90 minutes? Yeah, I think we're just going to get this started and we may call it there. Now, these are all the same. They just have different skins on them. You know, we've got the Lemkin panel in the 5600, so we'll go with this one. I mean, and I just max everything out. What's the most expensive one? That's the one I want. All right, so we're going to lease this. Here we go. Wife wants to move from Oklahoma and go back to Ohio. You know, I used to live in Oklahoma. I don't mean this in a bad way, but not on purpose. I just kind of ended up there. Fried, I can tell you I am kicking myself for not getting track IR sooner. I got it about 6 months ago. And it absolutely changes the way you play games, particularly flight sim and truck sim. I don't know how I lived without it. Oof. This thing is well heavy. And can we fold this? Certainly can. Beautiful. All right, here we go. Don't have the Weber? The Weber? I'm curious. What is the Weber? Sounds like something I want. I mean, I'm definitely a shiny nickel kind of gamer. It's well worth having, Fried. It's one of those things that I would never want to game without it. Having tried it, and I'm a little bit mad when I think about all the hundreds, probably thousands of hours that I put into titles without track IR. I wish I would have done it a lot sooner. Makes a massive difference. Hey, Enterprise, welcome back. Whoa, guy got a little bit of air coming over there. Oh, hang on. Are you talking about something like... like this right here? The Jimpa? I do use those, and you're right, they do, particularly for course play, they do work a lot better. 6 meter, kind of like that, but better. Okay, I'll check it out. I do like the Jimpas. I feel like they're a little bit, I don't know, kind of cheating. You know, they make it too easy. But I do use them. I mean, I've got them in the store, and I do use them. I was using them a lot on Western Shore V1 when we were just recording videos and not live streaming, but I was using those off camera because they're so much faster. Definitely. Carefully get through here. Yeah, when I was playing, oh God. I feel like I need to apologize for that Kerbal video yesterday. As soon as I got done streaming, I immediately deleted it. That was terrible. It wasn't just struggle bus. That was like the failure bus. But I did read up on the mechanical jeb quite a bit, and I think I was overthinking it. I think I was making it more complicated than it needs to be. What I read was that the moon was specifically designed to be easy to get to. So I was looking for like all these complicated, you know, you do this, you do that. And it's not like that at all. You just go prograde, point yourself at the moon, right? Delta V, and then when you get in the sphere of influence, you turn retrograde and delta V until the orbit, if not circularizes, at least forms. So I want to try again. I mean, maybe we have to do X-Plane tomorrow because it's midweek madness at Gatwick, and I want to fly out of Gatwick on VATSIM on stream. Oh, I'm gonna hopefully do all right. I am nervous, man. Knees weak, palms sweaty. We'll see how it goes. But I know people say mechanical jeb makes Kerbal too easy, and I think the way that the game is fun for you to play, any game, doesn't matter what title it is, not just Kerbal. However you want to play it is how you should play it. I know I'm not into that elitism. You know, it's your hobby, it's your time, it's your money. Play it however you want. All right, so we're very carefully swing back through here. Check out that mod you were talking about. You're talking about a Kerbal mod? Honestly, Fried, I was so flustered. I don't know if you could pick up on that, but I was so flustered and so embarrassed. I was just like, I had my finger on the stop stream button for like 5 minutes. I was just going to rage quit, but try to tough it out. All right, so let's do this. We're going to set the brake. Let's fire up course play. So, set the brake, I said. Damn it. All right, and then we'll go here. This is field 100. Space station mod, yes, that's the one. I didn't think to, but we can, next time we do Kerbal, we can hop into the station that I built. I rebuilt everything that I had started. I rebuilt it from scratch. And we want to do field work. And we want to go here. Rebuilt it from scratch. I really like the way it looks. Working with, do we want to unfold this thing? Do we have to? Is it going to give us a different width when we unfold it? And is it going to offset automatically? No. So we don't need to do that. Do we have an offset? We'll figure that out afterwards. Or do we... Oh, we need to do it before. Tool horizontal offset standby. So if we go out here and unfold, and we go, it's... So that's going to be lane offset. We want to be to the right. We want to be 1.5 meters to the right. And it is symmetric lane change. Deactivated, activated. Oh man, I'm racking my brain. All right, on Friday. If you want to drop me a link to it or drop the name of it either in public Discord or DM me, I do want to check it out. I always get this wrong. So symmetric lane change is when the offset stays the same to both sides no matter what direction you're going in, and we do want that because the plow does flip. Oh, I feel like it's a 50-50 chance here whether this is right or not. All right, I'm just going to turn it on. So if we go back here now, field 100, starting location, we'll say right about here. We don't want to return to starting point. We do want, this thing's pretty narrow, so we'll say 3 headlands. That'll give us some room to turn. No islands. Multiple tools. Nope. Generate me a course. Oh. All right. Headland around. Start working on rows. Is this right? I think this is right. So we're going to say okay. And what does our course look like? Let's hope for the best here. Let's hope for the best. Where do we start? Right up there. All right, here we go. And I'll have to, once we get this thing going, we'll monitor for a minute, because I don't know what direction it's going to flip to once it starts. So again, 50-50. If it flips to the correct side, then the offset will work. If it flips to the opposite side, then we need to go back in and flip our offset to the other side in course play. All right, so let's set the brake. It is folded. Yep, we're going to leave this folded. And we want to set some speed limits. So field speed. Now I'm told you want to go faster with a plow. Momentum is your friend when you have a plow on. You never want to kind of bog down. So we'll leave that on. 4-wheel drive in both differentials locked all the time. We don't want to save fuel. Right? Turn that off. Go back here. Oh, let me do this before I forget, because I always do. Say F100 plow. All right. Drive course at first waypoint. There we go. Sir? Right on. Thanks, Ride. I appreciate you. I got to figure out what I want my space station to do as well. Because I feel like, I mean, I don't plan on doing any science in Kerbal. I really don't. Mostly I just want to launch rockets. So I don't plan on doing any science. Really, I think I'm just going to stay in sandbox mode, because I'm not worried about XP or leveling up or anything. I'm not worried about unlocking different parts of career. So as far as building a space station, I don't know that I need to focus on certain goals that would allow me to, I don't know, have access to different functionality on the station. Right, as far as like bringing bigger solar panels up so that we have more power so that we can do different types of science. I don't really plan on doing that, so it's kind of not a priority. It's called Kerbal Space Program. It's got maybe, if there was a Venn diagram, it would have maybe a 20% overlap with Elite Dangerous. It's mostly rocketry and physics and like astrophysics. So it's more about getting places in kind of a science and engineering context. Oh, are you kidding me? Did we get it right? I think we did. Now, our wheel's not going to be on the right side, which is going to trigger my OCD. But, you know what I'm saying? I'll take the W where I can get it. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to work. Pieces of a space station that aren't for science. Hell yeah, man. The other thing that I want to do is I want to get one big fuel tank on the edge of my space station that I can dump extra fuel into it every time I do a lift. Any fuel that I have left over before I send that booster back to burn up on re-entry. I want to drain the fuel out of it till that tank on the station is 100% full, and use that to fill the tank on our trip to Mars, right? Because we'll need a ton of fuel to get to Mars. Yeah, I hear you. And this isn't flipping either, which is curious. I don't know if it's because of the way we have it set up. I don't know. But we'll let it cycle a few times. I mean, either way, by the time we stream this next, this field will be done. I would just like it. Yeah, this seems like perhaps not the most efficient pass we're making right now. Hang on, let's get rid of this. Get rid of that. Get rid of that again, and we can zoom in and out. Sir? I'm less worried about overlap than I am about gapping. I mean, if we're not super efficient and we do plow the same areas twice, that's fine. It's not ideal, but I can deal with it. As long as when the field is done via course play, it's all done and we don't have to go back in and manually clean up a bunch of dead zones. But I think we're okay. So we'll let it make one more pass, confirm that it is plowing everything, and then we'll call it. There we go. Beautiful. Bad. This little 5600 has been doing everything. This is the only tractor we've used at all. Did we lease a tractor? Yeah, maybe we did. Maybe we did for something early in the spring. It's probably why we're 400K in debt. But yeah, this little 5600 has been doing it all. Yeah, it's all about to go tits up right here. Stand by. Okay, so we need to bring this back. Sir, I'm gonna need you to stop. I'm gonna need you to stop quickly, apparently. So if we go here now, let's see what happens. From, is that gonna be current waypoint? Nearest waypoint. Ah, no worries at all. I'm glad you made it. All right, so that's one little strip right there. One little strip we got to come back in and fix. Hopefully there's not going to be too many. I don't know why the plow is not flipping. And I have a lot of faith in Bullet Bill. He's definitely a detail-oriented kind of person. So if the plow is not flipping, I would assume that the break in the chain is on my end. But let's just figure out if we can figure this out. No, still nothing. Where are they going? Sir? Wait, what? What? Are we missing something here? Did it not start at the beginning? I don't know what's happening right now. I mean, it is getting the whole field done, but I'm not clear on how it's getting the whole field done. Let's see what happens with this next row. That's going to be, I think, the deciding vote as to whether or not this is working or not. Also, apologies for throwing the camera around. I'm not trying to induce motion sickness. Yeah, really curious why that's not turning. We can try it out at some point, or I can try it out off camera. We'll try it with just a base worker and see if that's course play that's not flipping it, or if the plow itself, for some reason, I don't want to say it's bugged out, but you know what I mean? I know the base game plows do turn when you have them on a worker. All right. Sleeping on grandma? Hell yeah. Nope. Not happening. All right. Now I'm starting to get kind of fired up. All right, so if we go here, are we offset to the wrong side? Because that says left now. So maybe we put it back on the right. 1.5 to the right. And we need to see these, right? Brakes off. Okay, so that looks about right. All right, so we would want, what was I saying about courseplay? Love, hate. So we want nearest waypoint, and it should move over a little bit to the right. Your other right. Sir, your other right. Here's to the right. Deactivate. Tool offset. Let's try this. Ah, let's try this. Let's neutralize this. And let's do this. 1.5 to the left. And it's under the menu right now. I'll pivot around. But we can see the red bar to center it up. We could come back. Yep. So let's get this. There we go. Yes. Feeling better about that. All right. So now we turn these back on. Lift this. Right there. Nearest waypoint. Fingers crossed. Here we go. Oh, yeah. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. No, seriously. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. Courseplay. I love it. Need to change the tool offset. We've got the tool offset now, but it doesn't seem to want to grab the I mean, what waypoint? I said nearest waypoint. What the hell? We could try to drive down here a little ways, but I have no idea why it grabbed what it did. So we'll go over here a little bit. Nearest waypoint. I mean, can't be any nearer than that. There you go. Jose knows what's up. All right, I think we're onto something here. You know what's funny is when I think about how long I've played this game, how many hours I have into it. And so when something like this happens, I'm always reluctant to like blame a modder, because they put a ton of work into this stuff and they give it away for free. So I don't want to shit talk a modder. But when something like this happens, I think, you know, I've played this game enough. I've put enough time into farm sim and courseplay. I think there's some things that are just, you know what I mean? Not ideal. Not perfect. Because I certainly haven't been able to figure them out in going on 5 years of FS17. All right, here we go. Fingers crossed for the big turn. What? There we go. Now it's flipping over. All right, so it's not the lane offset. It's not the lane offset. It is the tool offset. Ernie, you're a genius. So it is the tool offset. That activates the tool turning. Now we've got the wheel on the smooth side of the work surface. Beautiful. I love it. You know, I need to learn to never underestimate the bullet bill. We'll let this cycle once more just to confirm everything is solid, and then we'll call it. I need to learn not to worry about anything that bullet bill makes. The guy is solid. Oh, no worries. I knew it was something. I mean, it had to be something. But we've got the tool flipping now. That my OCD is no longer triggered. We've got one little strip in the middle there we'll have to clean up. Not too bad. So I think we're good. And where we at on time? 113 minutes. That's perfect. 2 hours is, I find, to be my ideal stream. And I don't know how people do this for like 9 and 10 hours. I don't know how they do it. I think the fact that they're making like $100 an hour in tips probably helps with the motivation. But I don't know if I could do this for a full day. And I'm talking about like a full day. You can see my man eating a bowl of cereal while he's playing Modern Warfare. I couldn't do it. I agree with you. First ever stream was 16 hours. Yeah, it's a long day, man. I lose track of the game that I'm in. I lose track of, like, on the weekends or something. Hunter Call of the Wild, man, I'm really glad that I'm flying, because Hunter Call of the Wild was... I'm reluctant to say it was getting to be a problem for me, but it was getting to be a problem for me. That is an extremely addictive game. And it's like, oh, you know, I'm finished up a little early. I got all my work done for the day. I'll just hop in Hunter Call of the Wild and play a little bit until I start making dinner. And then you look at the clock and it's like 9:30. Wait, what? I fell in the K-hole. So I know there are definitely some games that I think I could play the game for hours and hours and hours. But as far as streaming it, I don't know, man. I might have to work up to that. Yeah. I don't know. And it's weird. That's what I was saying earlier in the stream. Yeah, I'm still figuring this out. It's a work in progress, you know, and YouTube channels, Twitch, it's a kind of a weird combination of what you want to see and what the streamer or the YouTuber, what they want to do. And I mean, I have a price. Everybody's got a price. We're all whores. We just have a different price. And for the most part, nobody gets close to our price, so we really never have to compromise ourselves. But I don't know if I would ever be willing to stream content that I absolutely hated and, you know, put on my happy voice and just do things that I really hate doing for money. But I recognize, of course I would. It would just need to be a lot of money. So, of course I want to stream what I want to stream, but I also want to stream things that you want to see. And there's kind of a balance. There's a push-pull. You know, I know the videos that really don't do well at all, and I know the videos that do super, super well, and trying to look sort of within those metrics, right? And find the videos that I enjoyed making and the streams that I enjoyed doing versus the ones where I was just kind of grinding it out. So I definitely want to continue to let it evolve. And let me know what works for you. Let me know what it is that you want to see. And even things that you're not totally into. I mean, if there was anything about the video that did work for you, let me know. And we'll continue to sort of refine. But I don't know what I'm doing, man. I don't know what I'm doing. I decided to do this going on 3 years ago. And I've just been figuring it out, making it up as I go. So I think, yep. I think we're solid. So I'm going to let this... yeah, you really do, Ernie. And I've seen some... I haven't seen a rage quit. I haven't seen anybody totally snap. But... Factory farm with course played seasons. That sounds like it wouldn't be stressful. I haven't seen anybody have a complete meltdown, but I have seen some Twitch streamers become extremely sarcastic, extremely curt, you know what I mean? And you know they're just about to pick up the chair and throw it through the monitor. Not necessarily about the game, but about the chat, right? Or the stream itself. I've never been close to that. I was yesterday with Curveball. I was embarrassed, but I wasn't like upset or anything. I just couldn't figure out how to circularize the orbit when we got to the moon. But I always want to enjoy what I'm doing, and I always want to enjoy the content that I'm streaming. It's going to be exclusively streams from here on out, no more videos. But yeah, there's so many games that I like, and I think that's the coolest thing for me about sim gaming is all the different things that it allows us to do in kind of a virtual way. Drive a tractor, run a farm, fly a plane, drive a train, or whatever it is. And maybe if you got rich enough, you could do some of these things, you know, race a car or something, but it's a whole nother level to be rich enough to become an airline pilot. That's the level beyond the next level. So for a lot of us, that's out of reach. And the next best way we can do it is via sim. And I really like sharing this stuff with you because if you take it to a high enough level, I find it to be just absolutely ridiculous and amazing, the level of immersion. I think it crosses out of gaming and becomes straight up LARPing. And particularly with MP, with VATSIM, it doesn't feel like a video game. It feels like a bunch of goofballs LARPing, and I love it. So we'll do that tomorrow. And then probably farm sim again the next day. I know you do like that. I like it too. I like to farm a lot. And then the day after that, we'll try Kerbal again, see if we can get back to the moon. Yeah, I hear you, Fried, and I appreciate that. But I'm a perfectionist, and once that autism kicks in, it's the task abandonment becomes an issue. So when you have that tension between a task that is at the moment it's not working, it's not successful, and I can't find a way to make it successful, and at the same time I'm very reluctant to give that task up. I'm concerned about falling into the loop where I'm just doing the same thing and failing over and over for like 3 hours. That's not a very good stream. So I'm not it's not lingering or anything. I'll move past it, but I think the best way is to on Thursday we'll get to the moon, we'll get the lander down, hop out, do an EVA, get back in, get the lander back up to the lunar orbiter, and then get everything back to Earth. So we'll do that on Thursday. No, Friday. Tomorrow X-Plane, Thursday farm, Friday Kerbal. There you go. 2 hours. Perfect. Thanks, everybody. Grey Wolf, nice meeting you. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the sub. I appreciate you. Ernie, as always, thank you. We'll see y'all tomorrow.